Welcome to Z's and Threes.
For three for the win, yes!
And if it didn't feel real up until now, well, tonight it finally became real. We've seen PR pictures, press conferences, heard sound bites, but tonight, Luka Doncic hit the court for a game, his first in the Lakers' purple and gold. Not gonna lie, it's gonna take some getting used to. A busy night in the NBA, 2/3 of the league's teams were on. 10 games, 20 teams, some trying to make up ground before the All-Star break, some just trying to get a longer break and get healthy before the All-Star break. Plenty to catch you up on, including a conclusion, finally, to the Wolves ownership saga. Before we do, if you're a fan of the show, please do like and subscribe, share with a friend to stay in the NBA know. Let's get it. Group chat, game of the night. Sacramento Kings at the Dallas Mavs. Two teams in that 6 through 11 block in the Western Conference. Dallas at 28 and 25, Sacramento 26 and 26 entering tonight's game. Is there a team needing to get to the break more so than the Dallas Mavericks just to get some time away, catch their breath, reset, fans included? After news of the Anthony Davis indefinite absence broke yesterday, they said weeks, then they said possibly a month, and we heard reporting of, we don't know the timeline. Daniel Gafford, another big for Dallas, goes down in the second quarter, needing help to get back to the locker room. Wait to see what the news is on his. Mavs fans, well, they needed a nice, calm victory. That would not happen. We saw our first fan ejection for a Fire Nico chant and sign. Yikes. 26 lead changes in this game, 17 ties. DeMar DeRozan has an 11-foot jumper go with 3 seconds left in regulation that tied things at 116. Kyrie could not get the game winner. Malik Monk on the block. Overtime would be on the menu. 17 seconds left in that extra period. The Kings were up 2. They inbound the ball to DeMar DeRozan, who strangely decides to attack the basket and go for the layup instead of getting fouled. He misses the layup by throwing the ball up through the hoop. It becomes Mavs ball. Klay Thompson promptly buries a three off the inbound. Mavs now lead by 1. 9.8 seconds left, though. DeRozan redemption. He gets pinned on the baseline. Double team comes over, but steps through and nails the jumper. It would go down as the game winner, 129-128 for the Sacramento Kings. 42 on the evening for DeMar DeRozan. Question, if the Mavs keep losing, would they just ban all fans, the Mavs, on that James Dolan type approach these days? Okay, now we can talk Luka. I didn't bury the lead. The game that Luka made his debut in against the Utah Jazz was a stinker. His former team's game was the game of the night. Jazz Lakers, what better way to get accustomed to playing with your new teammates than playing one of the worst teams in the league? Jazz led twice, early buckets, but it was all Lakers from there on out. They win 132-113. Luka goes for 14 points, 5 of 14 shooting, but bears mentioning his first game action since Christmas, if you remember. LeBron, 24, 7, and 8. The starting center, Jackson Hayes, hook 'em horns. He had 12 points on 6 of 6 lobs. Yes, he will be the starting center moving forward. More on Mark Williams later in news. Lakers, they have won 6 in a row, 9-1 over their last 10. The Luka era is officially off and running. Let's go to Cleveland. Hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves would the Cavaliers. On a day when the long-running Minnesota ownership dispute finally settled, we will get to that in news as well. The Wolves, they made history. They tied the record for most consecutive misses to start a contest. They missed their first 16 shots. It took to the 250 mark left in the first quarter that they finally got a bucket from Anthony Edwards. A 12-point first quarter. They were 2 of 21 from the field. 7 made free throws. The Edwards 3 and a Naz Reid 2 is how they get to 12 points. When you start like that, the game goes as one might expect against the East leading Cavaliers. They lead buzzer to buzzer, finished 128-107. Cleveland 28 from Evan Mobley, 23 for Donovan Mitchell, both All-Stars. Anthony Edwards, All-Star as well, went straight open gym when it turned into a blowout. He had 44 points, 8 of 15 from 3, 13 of 28 from the field. It snapped the Wolves' 3-game win streak. Cavs moved to 42-10. Stock best team in the NBA, the Thunder hosting the Pelicans. Best in the West, worst in the West. Record-wise, the Thunder roll. No Garth Brooks. Led by 39 at one point, win by 36, 137-101. 31 points on a semi-ethical 8 free throws from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know what the threshold is for ethical free throw attempts in a game. We'll have to, maybe 12. 10's still getting a little high too. 24 points for Aaron Wiggins, who has been scoring well lately for Oklahoma City. Reincorporating Chet Holmgren back into the fold. 6th win in a row for the best team in the NBA, record-wise. It is their 4th streak of 5 or more wins this season. They have Miami and then at Minnesota prior to the All-Star break for the Thunder. Continue to work our way through the slate of games with the heavy hitters, best records who were in action. Boston, Miami, no Tyler Hero, no Jaylen Brown, both All-Stars. Celtics started slow. They were down 11 in the first, but rolled from there. They held Miami to 22 or less points in quarters 2, 3, and 4. 33 points for Jason Tatum, 17 from Kristaps Porzingis. The Celtics record now 38-16. Miami dips a game below 500. Two hottest teams in the league coming into this week, the Portland Trail Blazers, who had been 9-1 over their last 10, coming off a loss at Minnesota. The Denver Nuggets, they have won their last 6, and they started this game out on fire. 11 for 11 to begin the contest. That included an absurd Nikola Jokic deep corner, like almost out of bounds, step back 3 over DeAndre Ayton. Ayton, bad news, had to leave the game early, needed assistance after a non-contact injury. He had been playing so well as of this Blazers' recent surge, so hopefully nothing long-term for Ayton. Nuggets, though, would keep it up. They shot 69% in the first half from the field, led by 15 reigning Western Conference Player of the Month, Nikola Jokic. Had 25 at the break. He sat early on the night, just 30 minutes of action, 40 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists on 15 of 22 shooting. Easy work for the Nuggets. They are the hottest team in the league. In terms of win streak, they have won 7. Teams will run it back in Denver Wednesday night. Golden State Warriors, Milwaukee Bucks. No Giannis. Reported today he will be out 1 week, coming back post-All-Star. His replacement has been named. I will tell you such in news. Steph Curry sure seems to be welcoming the Jimmy Butler addition. He had 38 points tonight, did Steph, with 6 made threes. Compliments 20 from Butler, a super unethical 15 free throws attempted. 15 free throws and you only score 20 points? What's going on? 9 lead changes, 9 ties. The Warriors controlled for a 125-111 victory. Atlanta, Orlando, good back and forth between teams that are battling in the 8-9 spots in the East. What is going on with Orlando? Has their season just been completely derailed because of their injuries? There were 14 lead changes, 12 ties. It was a 4-point game with 32.8 seconds left. The Magic get a great look. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, left corner 3. Doesn't go. The Hawks close it out from there, 112-106. 10 players with 8 or more points in the game for Atlanta, 19, 5, and 8 from Trae Young. News on him in a little bit. The Magic continue to struggle offensively outside of Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. Wagner had a season best, tied for a season best, 37 points in this one, 31 from PB. Spurs, Wizards. Spurs open a big lead, 18 points in the first quarter. Wizards take it back in the second. That qualifies as a wild lead swing alert. It was a battle back and forth in the third. San Antonio, though, closed it out in the fourth behind 12 points in the frame from De'Aaron Fox. 30 points for him in the game. Another unethical 15 free throws made. 31, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks from, if you were wondering, Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs, after back-to-back losses at the buzzer, they beat the worst team in the league. Final game of the night, Hornets, Nets, 2 of the East's worst. If you combine them together win-wise, they would have 32. They would be 4th place in the East. You'd have to forget about the losses. Nets put the clamps on the Hornets. Big reason LaMelo Ball left the game after just 10 minutes of play with another ankle injury. 6 players in double digits for Brooklyn. Team high 16 from Nick Claxton. Back-to-back wins for the Nets. Here's what you need to know when it comes to the standings after the 10 games tonight. Boston now 3 games clear of the New York Knicks. A game and a half between Milwaukee and Detroit for 5th place in the East. All of the play-in teams in the Eastern Conference are currently sub 500. So those are teams 7, 8, 9, 10. I've continued and will continue to make the case to do away with the play-in. No conferences as well. Let's just take the top 16 teams for the playoffs. If you did that as of now, the Warriors would be the 16 seed. And interestingly enough, they are the final team as of right now with a record above 500. The West continues to be all jumbled up, and it's going to stay that way in this pack. Memphis, Denver, the LA Lakers, and Houston, who is now down in the 5. Remember, Houston was just up in the 2. The Grizzlies of that group have the least amount of losses with 17. They are tied with the Nuggets for the most wins of the bunch. Those 2 teams with 35 victories. Denver is a game back by virtue of losses. The Lakers, they are ahead of the Rockets now as they have 1 less loss, but the Rockets have 1 more win. So it's not win losses, it goes to win percentage. Right now, schedules are unbalanced because of games missed. The Lakers specifically being one of the teams most affected by such with the LA Wildfires. Clippers and the Wolves are both 3.5 back. So this seems to be setting up post All-Star break for 4 teams, Memphis, Denver, Lakers, and Houston, racing for 3 home court positions come playoff time. Oklahoma City already has it locked up. Who will it be 2 through 4? And interestingly enough, the team that finishes 5 has to open up the playoffs on the road against the team that beats them out. It'll be great basketball to watch down the stretch for home court to begin the playoffs. Who do you think it will be? The 2 through 4 set in the West? Let me know down in the comments. Heavy Pour, leading scorer of the night, presented by Portland Water. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. It was 44 from Anthony Edwards, but he did it in a loss that he was gunning, so I'm going to give the Knights to DeMar DeRozan. He had 42 in a game winner. Dunk of the night, Zach LaVine. He had a lob from Malik Monk. Zach LaVine has to still be considered one of the premier dunkers of all time in the game of basketball. Performance of the night? Well, I'll give it to DeMar DeRozan as well, as he has firmly become the alpha on the Kings team with De'Aaron Fox gone. Fighting for the playoffs are the Kings with interim head coach Doug Christie. Well, he took the reins tonight and got them a much-needed, important victory in that Western Conference playoff battle. Well, it is not every day that an NBA team sells, so we will start there. The arbitration panel has ruled when it comes to who will own the Timberwolves moving forward. And Glenn Taylor, you are out. Alex Rodriguez, yes, A-Rod, and Mark Lore are in. So new owners for the Minnesota Timberwolves. This has been a multi-year, multi-tiered, ugly saga to try to determine who will own the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Minnesota Lynx of the WNBA. It went to a 3-person arbitration panel and ruled in favor of the new ownership. I know that Minnesota Timberwolves fans are rejoicing this day. Glenn Taylor hasn't been much loved, it feels, by Minnesota Timberwolves fans over the years. Week 16 Players of the Week. After winning Western Conference January Player of the Month, Nikola Jokic has started his February off well. He averaged 29.8, 10.8 rebounds, and 10.3 assists in 4 wins for the Denver Nuggets. And in the Eastern Conference, Trae Young, his team going 3-1, 31.3 points, 10 assists on 48.2% from the field. And Ice Trae can no longer say that he got traded, being left off the All-Star teams, as the replacements have been selected by Commissioner Adam Silver. And with Giannis out, Trae Young is in. Anthony Davis out, replacing him, his new teammate, Kyrie Irving. So Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, 2 All-Stars. Kyrie will join Team Shaq, taking that spot of already drafted through the draft selection that happened last week. Giannis was on Team Chuck, so Team Chuck will get Trae Young. And finally, let's add yet another wrinkle to the Mark Williams failed trade saga. I don't think that most people knew who Mark Williams was prior to last week. If you do recall, it was the LA Lakers in need of a big man after trading Anthony Davis that canvassed the league and finally settled on Charlotte Hornets' young but often injured Mark Williams. That trade was rescinded due to a failed physical per the Los Angeles Lakers. So Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish sent back to LA, Mark Williams sent back to Charlotte. Well, Charlotte declared their excitement on social media Saturday night when this news broke, welcoming back Mark Williams to the fold. But then late on Monday, it was reported that the Hornets are looking into options to dispute the Lakers' failed physical assessment. They are seeing if they are able to challenge or find alternative resolutions to having executed that trade for Connect, Reddish, and the big piece outside of Connect, the Lakers' 2031 first-round pick. Interesting to see how this one pans out. House shoes. We have Jordan 11 Concord lows in the process of reorganizing my shoe closet, so trying to bust out some heat. And I would like to talk about freedom of expression. And not in a greater sense, because we're not wading into those waters, but when you go to an NBA basketball game, and when your team has just made a move that has maybe made you very, very pissed off, like Dallas Mavericks fans are, and being able to express your discontent towards said moves, because the reporting out of Dallas post the Sacramento Kings loss tonight, and this was before the game was lost, was that multiple fans were ejected per the NBA Code of Conduct due to signs and or language, but signs which said fire Nico Harrison being the Dallas Mavericks GM. Apparently verbal altercation between Mark Cuban and said Mavericks fans that led to the ejection. Now, obviously, you sign up for a certain set of rules when you attend an NBA game, and you have to comply to that code of conduct, and those fans were found in violation tonight. But as I said earlier, the Dallas Mavericks and their fan base are in desperate need of just maybe a little pause to take some time to let things just calm down for a little bit, because emotions are running high, especially after tonight, I'm sure, after watching Luka Doncic make his LA Lakers debut. But fans need to have a freedom of expression. There is a line, and the line should not be crossed. And some of the reporting that we've heard out of Dallas with security and player safety, front office safety, yes, those lines do not need to be crossed. But when you go to a game, you should be able to express yourself and express your discontent within means without fear of getting thrown out. I don't know. It's interesting waters that we are treading into in Dallas, and for fan expression, for a fan base that is clearly very upset with the way that things have gone. That is everything you need to know from the Monday in Week 17. National Basketball Association, as we progress towards the All-Star break. I like the two additions All-Star-wise with Kyrie Irving in and Trae Young. Commissioner Silver made some good selections. What to watch Tuesday? Knicks-Pacers probably has the most intrigue, and East semis rematch from last year's playoffs that were won by Indy in 7, much to the amazement of Mike Breen during the call. Pistons-Bulls could be good. If you haven't watched Cade Cunningham, you should check that one out. If Tuesday doesn't have much appeal across its 4 games, well, take the night off. Don't watch any basketball. I will. That's what Z's and Threes is for. We got you. If you like the show, please do like, subscribe, share with a friend. If you are listening on podcast, give us 5 stars. Share with a friend there as well. If you are just listening, go to YouTube. Check out the show. We will be back tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Peace.